Welcome, Hornets. Today we're going to be taking a look at identifying whether a function is going to have an inverse or whether it is not. Now, in order to do this, you have to graph the function. Now, you can do this by hand or you can do the preferred method, which is using your calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a look at the specific function. F of x is equal to 6x over x squared plus 4. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put this into your graphing calculator. And I'd just like to go through a couple of features of your graphing calculator in order to do this. So I'm going to zoom in on that real quickly. We're talking about using the TI-84 Plus. Now the color edition and the Plus edition for the new program has with it, if you were to punch the alpha and the y equals. So the green button here and the y equals. If you do that with me and you push first the alpha followed by y equals, you're going to see some options for graphs or for fractions on your calculator. I want you to just go ahead and select the first one, and it's going to allow you to have a fraction. For those individuals who have the older calculators, you're going to have to put parentheses around them. So for those of us who don't, we just put a 6x, we move the arrow down, and we put x followed by squared followed by plus 4. Now for those of you who do not have that, you're going to have to use parenthesis followed by 6x, close parenthesis, divided by parenthesis, x squared, and then plus 4, close. Now, these are the same fractions, and you have to be aware that both exist and that they are the same thing. If we do a zoom 6, which gives us a standard graph, we can now see whether this is going to be 1-to-1 or not. Now remember, the vertical line test identifies it as a function. This is clearly a function. But notice right here, it's going to fail the horizontal line test. It's also going to do it here. So on each side, we will have a failure in the horizontal line test, and so the answer is no. Notice we want to graph it, and we want to use the horizontal line test to identify it. Once we have, we can answer the question. Now, it doesn't matter which questions we have. For example, let's take a look at a more difficult function, f of x equals, and I'm going to look at the absolute value of x plus 4 minus the absolute value of x minus 4. Now, please be aware that we're going to put this into our graphing calculator. So same thing. We go to y equals. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. And be aware, we do have to have only one specific place. We're going to clear this out. We're going to put this into our graphing calculators. So we want to put an absolute value, but where is that absolute value? Well, we have to go to math. Math is right below the green button, right here. It says M-A-T-H, math. We're now going to have to move over to number. Now you'll notice the very first one in number is absolute value. That's what we're going to select. And then inside we're going to put the x plus 4. We have x plus 4 inside. Move the arrow outside, put a minus, go back to math, number, ABS, and then put inside x minus 4. We're going to do, once again, a zoom 6. We're going to look at our graph. And we would want to say that this is, but it is not. Notice the two horizontal lines. Horizontal line here and here. That is an infinite number of points, and therefore we have to say, no, this is not 1-to-1. So you'll notice lots of graphs are 1-to-1, lots of graphs are not. Let's take a look at another one that is. This one is a one-to-one function, and this will be f of x, and we're looking at 1 over x minus 2 minus 3. Put this into our calculator now. We're going to go back, y equals, clear out what we had. I'm going to create my fraction again. This is alpha y equals enter. I have 1 divided by x minus 2. And then I have a minus 3. Zoom 6. And you'll notice we're looking at a reciprocal function with a center point to negative 3. This is indeed a one-to-one function. There are no values that are shared horizontally, and therefore this will have an inverse. So be aware, finding an inverse requires that we graph it, and from our graph, we discern whether the vertical or horizontal line test works or not. If it does, an inverse exists. If it does not, an inverse does not exist unless we restrict the domain. All right, in our next section, we're going to be taking a look at finding inverses and restricting domain. Thank you.